Welcome to my channel Heart Meets Spirit. This channel is intended to support you improving and changing your life. Live a life of love, trust and confidence. Enjoy.
Your body is a protein producing machine. Muscle cells make muscle proteins called actin and myosin.
Do we need to eat protein, by the way? That's always something I wonder whether or not we really do. Okay.
Skin cells make skin proteins called collagen and elastin. Your immune system makes immune proteins called immunoglobulins or antibodies. Your stomach cells make stomach proteins called enzymes. Your eye cells make eye proteins called keratin. So the body's a protein producing machine. Every cell in your body, Danica, makes a protein except for red blood cells. And in order for a cell to make a protein, a gene has to be signaled. So this is a genes create disease. Less than 1% of the people on the planet are born with genetic conditions like type 1 diabetes, Tay-Sachs disease. The other 95 to 99%.
People want to hear that and people don't want to hear that.
Of course not, because that means you can't be a victim.
Accountability.
You can't be a victim, right?
Exactly.
So 95 to 99% are created from lifestyle. You can take two identical twins, same exact gene expression, same exact genome. One dies at 55, the other one dies at 81. Why? They're in a different environment, or their perception of the environment. Right. So now it's not the gene is a parts list of possibilities.
Right.
So now, here's the point. If a person is perceiving the environment or in an environment where they're constantly living in fear, or anxiety, or anger, or aggression, or frustration, then it makes sense then that those emotions would influence certain thoughts. And certain thoughts would make certain feelings or certain emotions. Well, if you're living by the same emotions every single day, it's the environment that signals the gene. The end product of an experience in the environment is an emotion. So your body is objective. If you're living in fear, whether there's any fearful conditions in your environment, your body's believing it's in an environment where it needs to feel fear. So then, the person then keeps signaling the same gene because they're feeling the same emotion. They're responding to the same environmental condition. They're signaling the same gene. You keep making the same protein. You keep signaling the same gene over time. It's like taking a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. All of a sudden, the body starts making a cheaper protein. The gene down-regulates, and now the body's moving out of balance. So then, here's the question. If you're thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, demonstrating the same behaviors, creating the same experiences that produce the same emotions, and then those same emotions influence your very same thoughts, then your biology, your neurocircuitry, your neurochemistry, your hormones, and your gene expression is going to be equal to how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality.
I love that. I love that.
So if you're going to change your life, change your personal reality, you got to change your personality. You got to start changing your thoughts. You got to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and say, do I really want to think this? Like, you become the shepherd of your thoughts, the gardener of your own mind. You start to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors and say, my goodness, how am I speaking? How am I acting? You start looking at emotions that you live by every day and say, my goodness, I didn't even know it was guilt. It just feels like me. Or lack, and now the person's becoming conscious of their unconscious part of themselves. And the more conscious we become of the unconscious self, the less unconscious we go during the day. So it begs the question, new thoughts that lead to new choices that lead to new behaviors create new experiences produce new emotions are the information coming from the environment, they signal new genes and there's evolution. So now we up-regulate the gene, you start making a healthy protein. The immune system starts up-regulating and all of a sudden it makes new antibodies. Why? Because the body's back in growth and repair and out of survival. So we did a research study for 4.5 days. We took 35 randomly selected people, and we measured 7,500 different gene regulations. And what we want them to do is to think differently, make new choices, do different things, have new experiences, and feel new emotions. And we wanted to see in the end of 4.5 days if they were able to change their gene expression. And they had 8 genes in common. All of them shared the same gene expression of these 8 genes. 2 genes that suppress cancer growth and tumors. Genes to grow new neurons in your brain, not just make new connections, but grow new neurons. Genes that stimulate stem cells to go to damaged tissues that are dying and breaking down and repair them. The genes for oxidative balance, you know, anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke.
They all had all the same ones?
These were the 8 they had in common, but there were other ones, you know, that were great ones as well, but these 8 were the common ones. And genes to strengthen the cellular structure, the microtubules of the cell. Now, genes are like Christmas tree lights. They're turning on and off all the time. But if you're doing the same things, feeling the same emotions, thinking the same thoughts, you got the same lights on and the other lights off. And over time, you start signaling the very gene that's on the surface of your genetic propensity. And now you're headed in that direction. So then, is it possible then, when you change your emotional state, will you change your gene expression? And the answer is absolutely, that you are your own genetic engineer. Now, it may take some time for certain people. So you can alter your gene expression. Now, here's an example. If your body's a protein-producing machine, you have 100,000 different proteins that make up your body. So you should have 100,000 genes for every one of those proteins.
Okay.
You have 40,000 what's called regulatory proteins that help make those. So now you should have 40 more genes. You should have 140,000 genes for 140,000 proteins. And when they mapped the human genome, they were so surprised that we only express 23,688 genes. So how's that possible? Because on one gene, you can have several variations of how the gene is expressing itself. So genes are always moving and mobile. We have people that have taken 4 years, as an example, that we've tracked, that reversed a genetic disorder that they had from a teenager.
Okay.
Turn that whole battleship around. Now, that person was abused as a child. Father was an alcoholic, beat her every day. She felt weak, punished. Of course, she developed a very specific bone disease that created a weakening bone tissue or scaffolding. That's an expression, right? So there were a lot of incidences that branded her emotionally, and she had to get beyond those emotions. Not the event, just the emotions. So someone like that, it took her maybe 2.5, 3 years to get through. Now, it's just like the 4-minute mile, or whatever
Which
you say.
I've never done.
Whatever you say in racing. But there's a ceiling where people said it was impossible, and all of a sudden human beings are doing it. Weeks later, someone
there you
broke,
go.
and then there's 1,400 people that have broken.
There you go.
Mile.
Because
and the doctors were saying it was impossible.
Explain how that works. Like, what happened?
Well, it's in the field. You have one thing happening. There's a footprint that somebody stepped into in consciousness that says, "Oh my God."